Hey, what does all that say? Okay. So I'm trying to connect my boy Toan on here so we can do our little YOLO with ToLo, catch up with our little weekend chat. Let's see here. And we can get him in here. We were trying to do this on Facebook Live last week, chat. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if they done got hacked again or if it's Russia. Russia. All right, so now I'm going to switch this way. Now his face
Hey guys,
is frozen. Lord Jesus.
we're doing it this week again on Instagram because it looks like Facebook has been failing us. And this week is episode 31. I can't believe it's been 31 episodes. Can you?
That's been a lot. That's been a whole lot. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, I have full.
Okay, I can hear you now.
You can hear me? I can hear you, but it looks like your face is blurring in and out. But it's like it's going in and out. But okay, well, ouch. Sorry. I'm having you to sit on my. Never mind. Never mind. that just went all wrong. All right, back to topic. Back to Facebook.
Anyway, episode 31, Taking Risks, is this week's episode. The last one we talked about was embracing challenges. And we had so many challenges on Facebook with audio issues, and it looks like we've also...
Like they have continued this week. And I don't know, what's going on here? What's going on? Hey, Jill.
All right. So Kevin's going to let us know if he could hear us. Kevin is our producer.
Oh.
And if y'all have issues hearing us, let us know. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Where are you this week?
I'm in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas.
Yeah. You know, I used to live in Midland, Odessa.
Oh, yeah. I've been to Midland, Odessa. I don't know if I ever told you that, but yeah, I've been there before.
No. Yeah. What were you doing there?
A guy I used to manage years ago in music, we did a concert there with another artist in Midland, Odessa. I forgot the name of the venue, but yeah. I do remember that.
That's so random.
The Concho River. There was some river that goes through the town. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. It's so long ago. I forgot.
Oh my God.
So.
Okay, Jill. Get back. It is Greenleaf tonight. Yes. She's like, I got to get back to Greenleaf. All right, sweetie. Enjoy the show.
Oh snap! I want to watch Greenleaf, but hey, you know what? We'll record this and we'll post it on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll post it on Facebook anyway.
Yeah, we'll figure out a different platform or something to do, but it seems like this one is good for now.
All right, let's move through it. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, we're going to try to get through this while we have some kind of communication. Taking risks.
Right. So first segment is hot topics. Everybody's talking about elections. Everybody. And I know I voted. And I was encouraging everybody to vote. And although I don't want to get super political, but although it showed that the nation is very divided, it looks like it was an amazing turnout this year, or this time around during this midterms. Dems gained the House and the Republicans got the Senate, and there were so many firsts, right?
So many firsts, and I love that all these people that just took a risk. All these candidates that took risks to do their first time out, and there was just, all these women, record number of women, Muslims, openly gay men, lesbian Native American. I mean, just all these, all these
lesbian mother.
Yeah, I thought
youngest woman to be elected into Congress. I mean, it was pretty exciting to see. So many people taking risks out there. And you know what? If you don't take risks, then you know what? There's no. It's so true that saying, no pain, no gain.
Yeah. No risks, you can't break records if you don't take risks. And that's, neither party got all of what they wanted. So, okay, but everybody did get something that they wanted, and that's kind of how I think democracy works and risk taking works. So. The president made a risk on his side as far as the way he was going to campaign and what everyone else was telling him not to do. He was like, no, I'm going to take a risk and do it the way that I know to do it. So he listened to his instinct. And on the left, all these other wonderful candidates took risks because they were like, well, we don't like all that's going on over there, so we're going to stand up and resist that. And I just thought I thought it was great that there were so many, because all these people took risks. They all, they yielded some great results, even though it wasn't
absolutely
what everyone wanted. No one ever gets everything that they want.
Yeah, and Kevin says, our producer says, you miss 100% of the shots that you never make, and that is so true. Right? I used to, one of my other jobs, I don't know if you know, but I used to be a headhunter for a bunch of Fortune 500 companies here. And, I would always tell people, look, if you don't ask for more, which I feel like a lot of, especially women and minorities, don't ask, whether it's a bigger paycheck. If you don't ask, you'll never get it. So at least if you ask, there's a chance of you getting it, maybe. So you might as well just ask, or you might as well just, take that leap forward. Literally that leap of faith.
Yeah, because they say no, they just say no. Next, move on. Move on with your life. You can't be devastated by someone. But no. You can't.
That comes with wisdom, though.
Yeah, and
you and I have had many jobs.
Yeah, and you're going to have many no's. Just remember, it only takes that one yes. But if you don't take that risk, you'll never find that out. If you're always playing it safe, like, what does that even mean anymore? Playing it safe? That's just boring.
There is nothing such a thing as playing it safe. Like, even if you take any sort of job, if you think an accounting job, for example, is safe, or a job with a corporate job is safe because you are too scared to, like, open your bakery or your gym or whatever, or go pursue acting or whatever, I mean, that could be taken away from you like that. A new boss could come in. You might look like their ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend they don't like. They might, just act you right there and then. Nothing is safe. You might get hit by a bus if you just walk out of your house. So it's, I never want to live my life with regrets. So I'm always, up for risk taking. However, I do believe that, because of the opportunity, I know that, we have different opportunities that allow more of us to take risks and not take risks. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's get right into Dump the Hump. The big question today, helping you guys get through your Wednesday hump, is we'd like to hear from you guys. And Lonnell, I'd like to hear from you, is when was a time where you took the biggest risk, and did it work out, and did it not work out?
Probably the first big risk I think I ever took in my quest to adulthood was probably in high school, selecting and choosing a college. I had my eyes and heart dead set on one particular school, but my counselors wanted me to go somewhere else. Other people were saying I wouldn't get in. I wouldn't, it was gonna be too much for me. I couldn't afford it. Blah 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 blah. And in my heart, it was like, no, this is the one. I know this is right for me. I know this is right for me. And I'm just going to, and then they were trying to tell you, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to the risk I'm going to take is I'm just going to risk being me. And I'm just going to,
good.
I'm just going to put myself out there for them. And if they like it, they'll let me in. And if they don't, I still have 2 or 3 other backups that I guess I'll fill out these applications for. But I bet on myself, and it worked. And so that was
it's you do you, boo.
You do you, boo. But it was a huge risk at that time because it was like, you really want to do this stuff, and you have all these naysayers and all this chatter and all these people that say they have their best interest in your heart. This is what you need to do, blah 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 blah. Yeah. And not a single one of those mofos, was guiding my life. I was like, no. Yeah. And like I said, when I went to the school and I applied, I really just bet on myself. I just gave them all of me. I wasn't trying to, well, what do I think they want to hear about me. They might like this. Look, this is it. This is who I am. And I found that worked. So that was the first big risk that I took, and it worked. And it kind of gave me the confidence to move forward. It wasn't easy moving forward. Still a challenge to take risks, but that was a huge, very teachable moment for myself.
Ooh. I love that. My biggest risk was choosing to, the first one was also going to college because not many people in my family went to college. And I wanted to go to a private Jesuit university and ended up going to the University of San Francisco. I applied, I got in, And then my mom stopped really kind of talking to me because my mom is Chinese. You know, she's not Asian American. She's like Asian. So she was like, you know, but we have food at home. Why do you go to San Francisco so far? You know, like, you know, because my family's in Sacramento, an hour and a half drive. And we were poor. So we've never really, like, the farthest I've ever traveled to when I was a kid was San Francisco, you know? And so that was one thing. My mom actually was so hurt and couldn't understand that. I remember her not talking to me for a while. I want to say like 6 months. And, you know, I had to join the Asian American Journalists Association to get support in terms of, you know, scholarships and mentorships and internships, lots of ships. And, you know, after I started getting a bunch of scholarships and internships, 5 internships when I was in college, my parents kind of turned over a new leaf and was like, well, if that's what you know you want to do. They didn't understand journalism either. And anyway, speaking of journalism, I remember clear as day, my college professor, Michael Robertson, had said, first day of our media studies class, he was like, how many of you guys want to be on TV? And there's a class of 50 of us. I want to say like most of us raised our hand. And to be on a TV reporter, we raised our hands. And he was like, well, the truth is about 2% of people will really make it. So, yeah, so he was like, you know, but doesn't mean that you can't be that 2%. And I was dead set on being that 2%. I was like, I know I'm going to make it. Even though I got no pedigree, nobody I knew was a TV reporter. I didn't see barely anybody of color on air, you know,
right?
Especially Asian men. So anyway, I ended up, fast forward, you know, chasing that dream, and it took me all the way to market number 5, San Francisco. So, you know, that risk paid off.
Right.
And for me, what the most important part isn't like, okay, I became a TV reporter, I'm successful. But to me, the barometer of success was that I tried, because I never want to live life with regrets and think, you know, well, what if? That's one of the worst things. That's one of my worst fears. I never want to be what if. I'd rather just say, I'm going to try.
Right. Regret is such a horrible space to exist in.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It is.
And I would rather, to me, there's no such thing as failure, because failure to me is not trying at all. So I just, you know, I'd rather just give it a shot, but a calculated risk.
Right.
You know? I mean, you know, there's a calculation that you have to make. You got to figure out, like, you know, the logistics of how to do it. And also just be real with yourself, you know, in terms of authenticity, because I know I love to talk and I can talk.
Right.
But I ain't trying out for no American Idol, you know? You know?
I know my limitations. I know the space, right? I know my lane. Right.
Yeah. So stay up in that lane. One of my favorite quotes is actually Shirley from San Francisco sent this to us. Was a meme that she saw. It says, sometimes God closes doors because it's time to move forward. He knows you won't move forward unless circumstances force you. Trust the transition. God's got you.
Trust the transition. I love that.
And isn't that interesting? It's like, I truly believe that if it's authentically excites you and you have that gift and you want to do that thing in service of others and thinking about using that talent or that gift to serve others, it, you know,
right,
it somehow manifests. And isn't it funny how, like, you pay attention to the whispers, you pay attention to the synchronicities, right?
And they always teach you. Don't mind all this moving around that I'm doing. I'll explain on another show, but the way I'm sitting, it looks like I'm sitting in a normal position, but if you could really see what was around me, you'd be like, this is a hotmess.com. But go ahead, I'm sorry. So that's why I'm not all fidgety.
But you know what, though?
I'm just trying to get comfortable. Go ahead.
It's funny because I'm sitting here cross-legged, so if I'm moving around, it's because one of my legs fell asleep. But you know what? We're just real, and that's what this is about. You know, it's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. We were having like some audio issues and some technical difficulties earlier on Facebook, and we moved on to this, and you just gotta go with the flow.
You gotta go with the flow.
And sometimes, like,
and with the gluten.
Yep. If you're not in your lane, you get forced into another lane, and you move onward and upward, and you you never know what happens.
Right.
But you don't know until you try.
And challenges, that's how you dump the hump. That's what I love about the midweek. Just go on and dump that hump.
Exactly. But one of my favorite segments is, segment 3, which is talk to. I love this.
ToLo. Everyone always sends such great questions.
Talk to ToLo. Talk to us, baby. Let us know if you guys have any questions. But one of the questions that we got from an anonymous viewer is, it's easy to take risks when you have money and no kids, but what if you have kids and these other responsibilities and you ain't got no money, or money's tight? That is a really good question, because it's so easy to sit on your, golden lotus, if you will, right? When things are going good. And it's easy if you have money to say, oh, I'm going to quit my job. But what if you can't?
Right. Even if you have money or whatever, there's still risk involved. There's still a fear in taking a risk, because what if I do this and I lose it all? Or if it ends up costing me more? Or I don't necessarily, I may have the luxury of not having to need a job right now, but if I put this money towards something and I put it towards this risk and the risk doesn't pan out, I could lose everything. So I think there's the willingness to take a risk. It doesn't even matter how much money you have. I mean, there's still a fear factor, if you will, in doing that. But you have to find some baby step, some type of way to move in the direction of that. Like I said at the top of the show, I bet on myself and it worked. You bet on yourself, it will work. Don't bet on your fears. Don't bet on someone else's perception of you. Don't bet on the chatter. Bet on your true self. And when you bet on yourself, you'll win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that your body, when your body reacts to something, if you're not at a good job, or you feel like you're being betrayed, or you're being disrespected, your body knows. Like, you get stomach aches, you may have irritable bowel syndrome. I don't know. Like, you start getting super stressed, you break out.
True.
You break out, and your body knows. So you got to listen to that, and you got to listen to that thing that excites you. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, how much, in terms of getting your finances in order, or getting, whatever in order, scheduling your time, getting that in order, I think you really hit the nail on the head. It's those baby steps. Take the baby steps. If you want to write a book and you got 3 kids, you don't have time, you're running around, well, guess what? Try to write for 30 minutes.
Either in the morning, either at night, something. And even when ideas come to you throughout the day, just take a moment to jot them down. Put them in your phone or something. Just kind of keep yourself in that space.
Because some action is better than no action. Because some action moves you forward. Mm-hmm. If you're not taking those baby steps, you're not going to move forward past that finish line, or past that, that goal. So I think that's super important. So I think that we can make a million excuses. We're all busy. A lot of people are broke. A lot of people are having some sort of challenges. Everybody's having challenges of some sort. Yeah. So it's just a matter of being real with yourself and saying, well, how bad do I really want this?
Right.
And is that nagging feeling, or what we're really anointed to do, if you will, based on our gifts and our things that happen and the excitement that happen. This is love you. Oh, thank you. Love you back. That's all cool. So anyway, so you just got to take those risks. And you know what? We talk about this all the time, and if you feel like you have issues with, like, oh gosh, I need somebody, I can't do it on my own, or I'm scared or whatever, start reaching out to people. That's risky too. Like with you and I, we have these Wednesday chats, and when things go, in our lives, when things happen and big challenges happen, we call one another, we call other people in our tribe to help us get through it, because you know what, we don't have all the answers, but we all feel alone sometimes. We all feel the burdens of the world. We all have these things that we deal with, but it's really, how do you react to it, and how do you take and react to it and move forward? I think that's really important. So finding your tribe, taking baby steps,
and watching your mouth.
You and I
always say that.
What?
Watching your mouth and your words. Like, you just mentioned, like, sometimes, you may be broke. Well, don't go around affirming that you're broke. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't go around, I am broke, I'm broke. Well, then that's how the world's going to show up to you. So if you're mindful of your words and you speak in the affirmative, you will all, you're more likely to move in the direction of where you're trying to get to a lot faster. So I'll just add,
that's great.
mind your words.
Yeah, and before even minding your words, it's really be careful of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts become your words. Be careful what you say. Then what you say becomes real, and what you say you can't take back. So, you can say, "Oh, things are tight," oh, instead of like, "Oh, why am I always broke? How come I never can get a break?" So I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's the whole.
That's really important.
Why don't I? Why
Vision
can't
board
I
if you
ever
need
get a
to.
break? That's because you don't
Yeah,
feel you deserve one. Get back to work, fool. Get
that's
back
what
to
you're asking
struggling.
the universe for.
Yeah, I'm like. Yeah, so you've got to be in that space where you understand what's coming out of your mouth. Because sometimes we don't even realize
Yeah.
the negativity that we.
And you know what? I mean, some people might need to do. I'm a visual person, so whether it's a vision board or like writing it down to make it real is really important for me. And just I give that assignment to a lot of friends that like come to me and try to seek, some sort of guidance in achieving some sort of dream or taking some sort of risk. I'm like, write down exactly what you want. Like, how much money do you want to make? How much people do you want to reach? Do you want that opportunity or that job to allow for you to be with your kids piano recitals, or being able to drop them off and pick them up from school? Be super specific.
Yeah, the more details, the better, honey, because the universe has a cruel sense of humor. Oh, yeah, right. Bring me a man. So, no, be specific.
What kind of man?
Right, I'm just saying, be specific when you speak to the universe.
Exactly. Okay, moving on to question number 2 from Mike in San Francisco. It says, were there any regrets that you have from taking risks? Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, but no, that's easy for me. No.
Yeah.
Not regrets. Maybe painful lessons.
Yeah.
But no, not regrets. No, I would still.
Yeah.
It would still,
same here.
Yeah, it wouldn't have brought me to where I am, and I wouldn't have the knowledge and wisdom and experience. So no, I don't have any regrets now.
Yep.
No regrets.
I just it's all about taking those for me. It's for me in my life. It was all about, you know what, how do I take those baby steps so that it is sort of less risky, or really taking those calculated risks. So I would say my answer is no as well.
Yeah, no.
Because to me it's more painful not doing it.
Right.
That's failure to me, is not taking that risk.
And if you are living in a space of regret, it's like, oh, I need to fix my life. That's plain and simple. So you got work. That just means you've got work to do, because you're stuck in a space where you don't need to be and you can't prosper. So.
Yeah. Amen to that. Let's move on real quick because we're running out of time to digital detox.
Digital detox. Look how far we've come. It's
so
not nearly as painful as this section used to be when we first started.
This is the most painful for us.
But it's not as bad as it used to be.
Report. The New York Times report. You want to talk about that?
That's the nannies, right?
Yeah. So Silicon Valley parents are so panicked about kids' screen time that they are having their nannies sign no phone contracts and posting photos of rule breakers. Oh, they're shaming online. This is actually a true thing, because I have a friend who just had a baby, and she had asked the babysitter to speak to the baby in Spanish and engage, and don't be on the phone or don't be on the screen. She didn't have her sign a contract, but she was like, I prefer that you engage, instead of just leave the baby there or leave the TV on. What's so interesting about this is that that this article is about Silicon Valley, and I live here in the Bay Area,
right?
Where Tech was born, and this is where it's born, and now parents are getting freaked out.
Yeah, right. And it's interesting because, they're shaming because they're finding out and they're posting these pictures online of their nannies violating this code. So you're still using the technology, even though you're telling them to take a break from the technology. But you're still using the technology to catch them. Like, this is too much. Yeah. Yeah, there's got to be a healthy balance, though. You've got to find some type. I mean, it's just a struggle for all of us tech-addicted people. It's just a struggle to constantly find that space where, and have I pulled back? Am I navigating like life in real time and in my real space, not in the ethers?
Yes. It's one of those things that I know that, you and I don't have kids, but that's one of the things that really kind of freaks us out, right? Is our addiction to our screen time. And that's why we have this segment. And we're always in need of wisdom please, of how you digitally detox
Yeah.
and spend less time on the screen. So we've talked about it a lot. Let's hope that next week we have a better report.
I did okay this
week.
No,
I've been traveling.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've been doing a little better each day from where I started.
I feel like I'm getting better.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting better. You know, I just posted or I just blogged about the something that we had talked about last time with Lisa Ling, how the CNN TV host, journalist that has a show called This Is Life, and she talked about screen addiction and one of her topics of her episodes, and I blogged about how that's really changed the way I use technology. Mm-hmm. That's on my website, goinspirego.com. So it's something that's been on my mind a lot. Still, it's on my mind constantly every time I pick up my phone. So anyway, speaking about being on our phones, let's get off our phones because our time's up. Thank you for spending time with me again today.
Always a blast.
Thank you, Kevin.
And
I know, me too. It's such a blessing. Yeah, I'm glad we took the risk to get on Instagram and do this live here.
We were able to still get it out of the way, right?
Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys for watching.
Thanks, guys.
If y'all like what you see, please share. And of course, send us your
questions.
Send us your thoughts and questions. Yeah, send us your thoughts and questions, and maybe we'll it'll be next week's theme.
All right.
Take care. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
My feet fell asleep.